Welcome to Transforming with Drew, where we talk about everything on the TQIA spectrum. Hello, everybody, and I am very pleased to introduce our guest Dragon to the Transforming with Drew podcast, where we talk all things TQIA. Hello, Dragon, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing good. How about you?
I am doing pretty well. So would you like to introduce yourself to the audience, a little bit more about you and where you're from, what you do?
Hi, I am Dragon. I am from Wyoming. I'm 26 years old. Currently, I work as a supervisor in a grocery store deli and, just use my social media platforms to help spread awareness with intersexuality.
And how old were you when you found out you were actually intersex?
So I was 20. I was 20 years old.
So you found out a little bit later in life, which is like, oh, that explains some things, because that's the kind
Oh yeah. It felt like a veil got lifted up off my head and was like, this makes sense now.
it did, and I'm glad to hear that. What was the process? How did you find out?
So it's kind of a long story. So I ended up getting a cyst in one of my ovaries, and it grew to the size of a large grapefruit. And one of my doctors wanted to do an exploratory surgery on them in order to see if there's any lasting damage that was done from the cyst. And while the surgery was happening, they found two things hanging off of my ovaries, one on each side, that turned out to be testicles.
And are they functioning and producing testosterone, or are they just hanging?
So they're not fully formed. As far as I know, they don't make sperm, but I do know they make extra testosterone. Simply for the fact of my voice is actually lower than, say, a cisgendered female's voice would normally sound like. You can really tell in real life. I don't know how well, recording it or the audio sounds, but accelerated body hair growth. I started actually growing facial hair when I was 9. I noticed I had a higher sex drive than most cisgendered women around the age I was, teenager, than they normally have. And for a while there, I had a super high metabolism, which I know sometimes correlates with testosterone.
And how do you think it affected your mental health and relationship with yourself when you actually got this diagnosis?
It helped a lot because and you probably understand this really well. I was dealing with a lot of gender dysphoria, but mine was, I felt half complete. And so I hated my body. I could barely stand to look at myself naked in a mirror or anything like that. I could not have sexual intercourse with anybody with lights on because I hated it so much. And since finding out and, doing research myself in order to, learn about myself more, it's helped me, understand myself more and give myself grace more, and that I didn't have a choice in how I was born to look as. But it's helped with my self-love journey. I still deal with gender dysphoria a lot of times, but I can step back and tell myself, hey, you just need to be kind to yourself. You have something that not a lot of other people deal with, and your body is just how you were born with it. And if you need to make changes to it later in life, you can.
That's definitely kind of a beautiful way to think about it, as like self-love and compassion, because it's not every day. Like for like my story is kind of an interesting story. So I didn't have any type of menstruation until like my high school graduation day. So my stepmom, of course, at 14, "Hey, everybody's supposed to be having this." Takes me to doctor. Doctor's like, they have higher testosterone levels. Pretty high. So I kind of started making people lean in towards things. And then, of course, I already had some facial hair growth and, high metabolism, things, similar type of things and stuff. So when I started testosterone, we did a blood result recently. I'm on a pretty low dose, but I'm transitioning pretty fast. And the doctor's like, "Yeah, this confirms all the suspicions." And I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It works. It works." So I feel like it's been a little bit more helpful to know that, we are not really alone, and a lot more people like us do exist. And there are so many different, like I remember seeing one of your videos, there's many different variations of intersex as well.
Oh yeah. There's at least 47. There's only 6 confirmed sex types, but there's at least 47 different variations of intersexuality, and that includes chimeras and those who have mosaic intersexuality.
That's insane. And that's amazing. You've also done all the research too. Dragon, what made you decide to live open about being intersex rather than living stealth?
Okay, you remember that stupid super straight thing that was going on?
That's,
So,
yes, I'm super
okay, I am a petty person. I am such a petty person.
sure.
And it's kind of far back, but I actually have a video where I came out to kind of prove that, not everyone is just straight XX or XY.
Mhm.
And then it kind of snowballed from there because people had questions and people, just wanted to learn more. And then I got a very bigoted response one day that's saying it wasn't real, it was a birth defect. And I kind of popped off. And at that moment, I realized, it's better. Sorry, my dogs. Hey! It's better to, educate people and break the stigma and, show that we're not defects. It might be an anomaly, but we're not defects. It's just we happen to be born different. And in order to break stigmas, you have to, I feel like, at least for myself, you have to be open enough to be able to talk about it so other people can understand your experiences and what you go through. And, see, we're pretty much like everyone else. We just happen to be essentially born with a superpower.
I like that. Eventually more. I like that. That's kind of what I call my autism too, is I call it a superpower. So like that kind
Yeah.
of. So a lot of people do have a misconception about what intersex is. How do you think you help break the stigma?
A lot of it is helping spread education. I know it's not taught very well in schools, if it's taught at all. And I feel like that derives from the binary system society has set up based off of Christianity, actually. Because like even some other Abrahamic religions do recognize that there are other sexes out there besides, male and female. But I've noticed, because I'm also a history buff, that Christianity has had a lot to do with how society is today. And so the two sexes, whatever binary system we have now, is based off of that. And so I'm so sorry. Hey!
For all listeners, there are puppies that are adorable and play.
But like just helping educate people and not having them stuck in like one box can help bring more awareness and end the stigma that we're defects. They're always quoting, God made us how we are. well, we're made this way.
Yeah.
We're made this way, and you know, if you don't learn about it and you don't understand it, it can lead to bigotry and hate. And I mean, I've even had a death threat
Oh, wow.
after I came out of Intersex. So it can also lead to violence against us. So helping break that stigma could save lives.
Yeah, that's very scary. And I mean, it's already bad enough that like the trans community has that, and we don't need more hatred for people who just don't understand things. And I think that's what they do is like they're, oh, me no understand me violence. And it's like that's not how it works. You have more complex thoughts than that. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do know that you have a partner, and how long have you two been together?
We've been together 4 years. We've been married 2. I wasn't really open about being intersex at first because I had a bad experience with the partner I was with when I found out. But I did eventually open up, and she's been amazing. She's been so accepting of it, and I'm just grateful for her. And 4 years with her, I'm so looking forward to many more years down the line, supporting and loving each other in the best way we can.
I completely understand that. I'm coming up on my 1 year anniversary of being married and our 5 year anniversary of being together. So
Congrats.
I can completely relate to that. When did you get married?
We got married August 4th in 2019.
So you just had your anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yes, we just celebrated our 2-year wedding anniversary.
I love that. So Dragon, if you were to have any advice for any intersex people or even young children who are realizing that they are intersex, finding out that they're intersex, what would you think it would be for them?
Well, first and foremost, only talk about it if you're comfortable about it. Because as I've already stated, bigotry can lead to violence.
Mhm.
If you don't feel safe, don't talk about it. Don't come out. Just like any other, letter in the LGBTQIA community, like make sure you're safe first. But other than that, it's just the best advice I probably should have ever gotten was, you can learn to accept yourself. You can learn about yourself. And, be able to help break yourself outside of what most people would, see us as. And, just take it a day at a time. It's a journey being intersex, just like anything else. Just take it a day at a time. You're going to have highs and lows, but just give yourself the grace you need to get through it, and don't feel like you need to rush anything.
That's extremely well put because I agree. Don't have to rush anything. So lastly, and what I personally think is most importantly is if somebody wants to get more information from you and follow you on your platforms, how would they find you and what platforms are you on?
Okay, so I mainly talk about my intersexuality on my TikTok, which is Dragon Halo's Lair. My other social medias that where I do post stuff, I do have an Instagram. It's under Dragon's Halo. But that's mainly like my makeup looks, so I don't know if anyone would want to follow that. My Facebook, I do choose to keep mainly for like my friends and family. But definitely TikTok. That's where I feel like I have the best platform to spread my voice and awareness and help educate people. Because I mean, there's so many people on it and you can reach so many different people. So TikTok is definitely the best one to be able to get more information about intersexuality.
Oh, that's wonderful. And if like they said, if they ever want to look up in the makeup stuff, there's the Instagram too. Of course, like always, I put all of the links in the show notes, so you'll definitely be able to find them. I want to thank you again, Dragon, so much for being a part of this. It really does mean a lot to us in the community because I feel like there's not enough information on the TQIA spectrum. So thank you so much again.
And thank you for giving me this